The Beast Within. Logan, known to the world as Wolverine, had always been a man of violence, a force of nature driven by rage and the unstoppable power of his mutant abilities. But as the years dragged on, something inside him began to change. It wasn't just the endless wars, the battles, or the people he'd lost. It was something deeper, something darker, a primal force that had been growing inside him, slowly taking over. At first, it was just flashes, moments where the world seemed to go black, where his mind would fade, and all he could remember was blood on his hands, on his claws, on the ground around him. But the flashes grew longer, more frequent, and soon, Logan found himself losing control. The others, the X-Men, they noticed the change, but no one said anything. They trusted him, believed in him, but Logan knew better. He knew the truth. The beast inside him was winning. One night, after a particularly brutal mission, Logan returned to the mansion. His clothes were torn, his knuckles still stained with blood. He tried to shake off the feeling of dread, but it clung to him, a cold, suffocating weight. He went to his room, hoping for some peace, but the moment he closed his eyes, the dreams came. They were always the same: endless forests, moonlit nights, and the howl of a wolf in the distance. But in these dreams, Logan wasn't the hunter. He was the hunted. The trees would close in around him, the shadows growing longer, darker, until they consumed him. And in the distance, the beast would wait, its eyes glowing in the darkness, its breath hot and heavy. And every time, without fail, the beast would catch him. Logan woke in a cold sweat, his heart pounding in his chest. He sat up, his breath coming in short, ragged gasps. The room was quiet, the mansion still, but the feeling of being hunted never left him. He stood up, moving to the window. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the lawn. But in the darkness, Logan could see it, just beyond the trees, watching him. The beast. It was there, lurking in the shadows, waiting. Not real, Logan muttered to himself, shaking his head. It's not real. But deep down, he knew it was. The beast was real, and it was coming for him. The days that followed were filled with a growing sense of dread. Logan tried to carry on as usual, fighting alongside the X-Men, taking on missions, saving lives. But the flashes were getting worse. Every time he lost control, every time the rage took over, he could feel the beast growing stronger, clawing its way to the surface. The others noticed. Jean, Scott, even Charles. They all saw the change in him, the way his temper flared, the way his eyes would glaze over, the way he would disappear for days at a time. But no one said anything. No one dared. And then the killing started. It began with a series of attacks in the nearby town. Bodies torn apart, claw marks on the walls, blood everywhere. Logan knew, even before they found the bodies, that it was him. Or at least, it was the beast. The X-Men searched for the killer, but Logan stayed behind. He knew where to find the beast. He knew it was waiting for him in the woods, just beyond the mansion. That night, Logan left without a word. He walked into the woods, the moon high above, the trees casting long shadows on the ground. He could feel the beast watching him, its eyes glowing in the darkness. "Come out," Logan growled. his claws sliding out of his knuckles with a metallic snick. "I know you're there." For a moment, there was silence, and then, from the darkness, the beast emerged. It was massive, towering over Logan, its fur matted with blood, its eyes glowing with a primal hunger. It was him, but twisted, darker, more savage. The beast roared, its breath hot and foul, and charged. The battle was brutal. Logan fought with everything he had, his claws slashing through the air, tearing at the beast's flesh. But no matter how hard he fought, no matter how many times he cut the beast down, it kept coming. The beast was relentless, its strength unmatched. It was the embodiment of everything Logan feared: the rage, the violence, the bloodlust. And with every passing moment, Logan could feel himself slipping, losing control, becoming the very thing he was fighting. The beast roared, slamming into Logan with the force of a freight train. They tumbled to the ground, the earth shaking beneath them. Logan's claws dug deep into the beast's chest, but it didn't slow down. It didn't stop. And then, with a final, deafening roar, the beast lunged, its jaws closing around Logan's throat. When Logan woke, the world was quiet. The moon hung low in the sky, the woods were still, and the beast was gone. But something was different. Logan could feel it, deep inside. The beast was still there, lurking just beneath the surface. He stood up, his body aching, his mind foggy. He looked down at his hands, at the blood that still dripped from his claws. The beast hadn't won, but neither had he. As Logan walked back to the mansion, the shadows seemed to follow him, the howl of the beast echoing in the distance. It was still out there, waiting,